Hey, hey, real estate rock stars. Today we are joined with Lori Santarsiere, and this woman is killing it, selling more than ever in a down market and not using a whole lot of technology, just going back to the basics, being a little bit extra for her clients, and it is paying her back big time. You are going to love this episode because it's going to help you sell more houses. Okay, I am happy to introduce Lori Santarsiere out of Tampa, Florida, and she comes from a family of 9 realtors. How are you doing, Lori?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing great. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how the heck you have 9 realtors in your family.
Yes, we are a very competitive family, but the competition stays a little low because we all work different areas of Florida. So it works out well on that front. But yeah, my sister started it. She got her license and it just kind of trickled down from there that everybody wanted to follow the leader. And I was the last one to get my license and happy to say that I am doing the best out of all of us.
Would they agree with you on that?
They kind of have to. Numbers don't lie.
Absolutely. So, what made you want to get into real estate? I mean, you got to see firsthand probably them dealing with all the craziness, and yet you still chose to jump in.
Yes. I mean, like I said, it was a competitive thing. I would hear them complain about things and I'm like, I could have handled that better, So, but I also watched $1 Million Listing and thought to myself, oh, that looks easy. It's
Mm.
not, but decided let's go ahead and jump in feet first. It took me a couple of years to get going, but after I did, it was just full steam ahead.
And you've been doing this about 12 years now?
Correct.
Awesome. Tell me what your business looks like today.
Today, I'm fortunate enough that even in a down market, my business is thriving. My brokerage has actually given me shout outs and recognitions at our meetings that I have increased my volume tremendously this year, even with the lack of business that people is complaining about. But it's really repeat referral and doing back to the basic things that I will talk about today to keep my previous clients and their referrals coming to me without me having to do much of the legwork.
And I think a lot of people see all the articles. Florida is not doing too great in the real estate game just due to how many people came during COVID. And then we've had like kind of a mass exodus. So yeah, tell me, how are you having an up year in a down market?
So I basically honed in on my marketing. I've never stopped marketing. I have 2 farm areas that I do. We had the storms here last year, as you know, being in Florida as well. And our neighborhood got decimated. Like it was really bad. Our area got hit pretty hard. And not only did I not stop marketing, but I helped. I went out into the community. What do you need? We helped our neighbors. We tore out drywall. We, helped tear out carpet. I had my vendors come out and do things for free just to help people. And, that went a long way with people. So I didn't like the way I got the listings in that time frame because people had to sell, but it was nice because I also got the referrals off it as well. But to build up morale back into the community, I brought my snow cone truck guy out to like, hey, free snow cones. I got my friend involved that owns a restaurant. She made Cuban sandwiches and we handed out like 175 Cuban sandwiches to the community while people were working. And it goes a long way to show that, hey, I care. I'm not just here to get a listing. I'm not just here to make a commission. I legit care because I'm going through it with you.
Got it. I love both of those ideas. And I think a lot of times we do these events, and especially when you're dealing during tragic times, how do you convert that to business? Because you don't want to be like, here's your Cuban sandwich. And do you want to list your home that was heavily damaged? How did you end up being able to do that tactfully?
Well, in my neighborhood that I was in, I lived there for 12 years. So I was there for the whole duration of my real estate license. People knew me. I had already had a presence in that neighborhood to begin with. So when it came down to, hey, we have questions and we might need to sell. It was a matter of sitting down with them and be like, but do you really need to sell? Like, are there other avenues that you can go in order to keep your home instead of having to move? So I don't just jump to it and say, yep, let's put a sign in the yard. Let's get this going. I instead ask them all the necessary questions like, why do you want to sell? And if they say, I need to sell because I can't afford to do the repairs, I can't afford to do this, I would get them quotes. I would do everything I could to make sure they could stay in their home. And if they couldn't, obviously I was their go-to because I wasn't just out there putting signs in the yard and making them sign paperwork.
Got it. When you were doing the snow cones and stuff, did you have advertising letting them know that you were a realtor versus just being a fellow neighbor?
Yes. So I sent out postcards, and I know a lot of people don't like the idea of postcards. I actually used to hate postcards. I thought they were stupid and like a waste of money. But then I realized it wasn't the postcards that was the problem, it was the information I was putting on the postcards. So I pivoted and I started putting market stats on one side, and then the other side was whatever event that I was throwing that month. So the snow cones would be on the other side of it. So they'd get the market update and also an invite to come and enjoy the snow cones.
I love that. Did you have them RSVP or just show on up?
Yep. So I would ask them the RSVP just so I knew how many I would be expecting to pay for because it is a free event. But I'd say half of the people didn't RSVP and they would just show up, which is fine. I was okay with it, not a big deal. But it was nice for them to reach out. Hey, Lori, I'm so and so at 123 Main Street. I live 7 doors down from you. I'm bringing my grandkids. Is that okay? So it was nice. And that's how I would communicate with them. And then I would put them into my database, but not with annoying follow ups. Just, hey, here's the trim notice for tax season. Here's what you need to know about the flood insurance. Here's what you need to know about permits during hurricane season right now. And it was valuable information. I think that's where a lot of agents fail is they don't give valuable information. They just give information and it's usually about themselves and nobody cares about that.
Yeah, no, 100%. What other basics have you been doing? So you got through the storm and you've gotten listings because of that. I'm guessing, are most people pretty recovered now for the most part?
Some are, some aren't. We still have some people that are just down to the studs. The drywall is still out. Some are still waiting on insurance checks, which is crazy to me. But for the most part, I'd say 95% of them are back to normal or they've already sold their house and moved on to something else.
So, yeah, so how are you getting business now? What's working?
Well, again, the back to the basics thing. So, everybody, whether you were my client or not, if you moved into my farm area or you moved out of my farm area, I am, especially if you moved in, I'm sending you a handwritten happy 1 year anniversary card because their agents aren't doing it. Like they collected the commission check, they walked away, they're on to the next person. So, they get a happy 1 year anniversary card. If they just moved into the neighborhood, they get a welcome to the neighborhood card. So, and hey, if you need anything, I'm a local realtor here. If you need an electrician, a plumber, if something didn't go right, if you just need to know what activities we do in the neighborhood. So, my new neighborhood that I moved into, because I did, phase out of South Tampa after the storm, I started hosting a mommy's brunch.
Oh, fun.
So, once a month, that was how I got to know some of the moms in the neighborhood. I would hold a mommy's brunch and it was at my house. And I've only lived there for 9 months and I've already gotten 3 listings in that neighborhood. And there is a dominant agent in that neighborhood.
Wow. So are you still farming the old neighborhood?
I am, yes.
Okay. How many homes are in each neighborhood?
So my old neighborhood, there's exactly 200. In my new neighborhood, there is 913.
Wow. Okay, that's a big difference.
Yes,
Are you picking just like, hey, I'm going to do just the south side of this neighborhood, or did you say I'm going to try to do all 900?
all of them.
Okay.
So once a month, all 913 of those homes get my postcard with the market stats on it for just our neighborhood. It's not for an area of Tampa. It's not for all of, Carrollwood. It is just for our neighborhood so they know what's going on in there. And then on the back, like I said, is whatever event I'm doing that month. And I do host some kind of event every single month. So October is a kids fun day event. I got a bounce house. The snow cone truck's coming out. I got a petting zoo setting up in my backyard. I hired a face painter, and everybody comes over and they just have a good time.
That's awesome. With the sending the happy anniversaries or you just moved in, just the logistics of it, are you pulling like, okay, my neighborhood, what sold this month? Are you just pulling MLS data like once a month to check it and then handwriting and sending it out?
Correct. So if you look at MLS, and any agent can do this, so you can pick any zip code you want. If you put what is closed, 350 to 365 days ago, you're going to get a list of people that moved in. Out of that list, it never fails. There's always one person that's already back on the market for whatever reason. And the new agents that I train, they're always flabbergasted by that. They're like, they just moved in. I'm like, yeah, but job relocation, lifestyle change, it doesn't matter what it is. So that's why you send those cards out, because there's always somebody that's like, I do have to sell. I did get relocated. I am going through a divorce. And again, their agent has already disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Their agent is not there. So for the end of the year, my clients know this. They get this every single year, so they don't have to go hunting for it. They get their closing ALTA statement or HUD statement, whatever you want to call it, for their tax purposes. So anybody that moves into my farm areas, I contact them. Hey, you got taxes coming up. Do you have a copy of your closing statement? And they're like, why would I need that? Well, you need it for your tax purposes. Do you have a copy of it? And they're like, I don't even know where to find that. Okay, I'm going to send you an email. I'm going to CC the title company that did your closing because you can find that in the MLS. And I'm going to ask them to send you a copy of that. And they're like, okay. And I've gotten deals that way because they're like, I didn't even know I needed this. And it's free. I don't pay for that. It's just a phone call or an email.
Are you a really good time blocker? Because this takes a lot of organization.
No, I'll be honest with you. Everybody's like, oh, the morning routine. I have a 6-year-old. Routine is not really something that works well in our household. I do try to do all of that in the morning though. Take my daughter to school, do my cold plunge, make the coffee, and then sit in front of the computer and try to do that to make sure that I get it done. But sometimes it happens at 10 o'clock at night instead of at 8 o'clock in the morning. So the time blocking is not my strong suit. I will not be lecturing people on that today.
Yeah.
But I will say it is something that is very helpful. And when I do attempt to do it, it works out well. It's just not part of my daily routine.
Going back to your postcards, do you have someone designing them for you and then sending them off? Or are you doing that on Canva? What are you doing?
So I used to do it on Canva. My current brokerage that I switched over to, we have a phenomenal marketing team. So now I just say, hey, this is what I need. This is where I want it to go. They make a design for me. They send it over for approval. I either say, yes, it's great, or no, please change this. They ship it off to the printer and then it goes out in the mail. So the only thing I have to do is approve it, but that's only been for the past 18 months. Prior to that, I was doing everything myself and it was very time consuming, which means it was not consistent. And that is the name of the game here, is you have to be consistent and make sure that what you're handing out is valuable information and not just a blog about yourself posted on a postcard.
Do you feel it is super important to live in the neighborhood that you're farming?
If you would ask me that 2 years ago, I'd say yes. Now, absolutely not. I have a good friend of mine that kind of let me get out of my headspace about that because she lives in one area. Her farm area is actually 45 minutes away from where she lives. It's a gated community, and she is the dominant agent in that neighborhood. So I kind of took one out of her playbook and I started marketing my new neighborhood about 4 months before I moved in because I knew we were moving there. And I got my first listing in there a month after we moved in because of the marketing that I did prior to.
Wow. Was she doing the same strategies you're doing, the events, the mailers? Okay, no, that's great because I have kind of been more of that school that it feels a lot easier if you live there, if you're going to the same birthday parties, soccer games. But I hear all the time people can farm areas that they don't live in, or maybe
Of
they don't have
course.
small kids, or maybe they don't have similar lifestyles.
Yeah. And I will say having a kid has been very helpful in my
Mhm.
business. I have a 6-year-old and it is very, very helpful. Most of my events are geared towards kids. I do have other events, like I'm doing a singles mingle for Valentine's Day and inviting everybody that's single out, and we'll have a bartender and a DJ and just have fun. I'm doing a comedy show that's adults only. So I do have some adult stuff, but most of my events that I do are centered around kids, but the parents love it because they bring them out, they have a good time, and I usually have one or two things for the adults throughout the year.
How long do you think it takes for this strategy to work realistically?
So when I went all in on it, I'll admit I was doing it kind of halfway
Mhm.
prior, but when I went all in on it, like I said, I sent out 3 months worth of postcards and got my first listing in a neighborhood I've never done a single deal in. And after 9 months now, I'm signing my listing agreement for my third listing next week. So it does work. The consistency is the key there in getting in front of them as much as possible.
Sending to 900 homes, how much does that cost roughly?
So my monthly bill on that for printer, marketing, everything, like I said, brokerage kind of takes care of a lot of stuff. But that particular one is $878. So it's not a lot if you think about it. If you put it in perspective of like, okay, that's how much it's costing me per month to do just that neighborhood. but I've already gotten 3 listings. So it's more than paid for itself.
So, like your first event in your new neighborhood, how many people showed up roughly?
We had about 72 people.
Wow, that's great.
Yes. I was very excited about that. My broker was very impressed.
That's awesome. Because I think sometimes maybe you only get 8 or 10 people, and it can be disheartening for some people. But
Yeah.
it builds and it grows.
Yeah. Well, I do the postcards, but leading up to the event, I'm not opposed to door knocking. That's how I started my business. My sphere was licensed. I couldn't
Yeah.
use my sphere. Everybody's like, "Oh, your sphere." I'm like, "They all already do this and they have a license, so I can't do that." So I had to get creative and I started my business door knocking. And I was really good at it. I cringe at the thought of it now that I actually door knocked for business and it worked. But I do that with my events too. I still do it with my open houses. I go around, I knock on at least 20 doors, I invite people over, again, just getting in front of them. So I do that for my events as well. If I'm like, oh God, there's not really a lot of people here, I'll have my husband go sit out and be the host while I go knock on doors and
Okay.
invite people out. So far I haven't had to do that here recently in the new neighborhood, but in the old one, I definitely had to.
No, this is all great stuff. I appreciate it. Is there anything else you'd like to add? This is all, I think, back to the basics. And I think,
Yeah.
and I tell agents I train and the team, just you have to pick something and just go all in and be
Yes.
consistent.
Yes. And that's why I said once I went all in, I got the results. When I was just kind of, oh, okay, maybe I'll send one this month and maybe I'll send a Christmas one, and nothing was happening.
Mhm.
But when I was consistent with it, it was. I will say your past clients, your current clients, let them be your walking billboard. Let them be the person bringing business in for you. For the past 6 years, I can say that probably 80% of my business is repeat referral because I take care of my clients. Like their closing gifts are not a cutting board. Like I use my clients as well for their professional services. So I have a client that her daughter has her own cleaning business. So she's my house cleaner. So all of my clients get a free cleaning for their home. So I incorporate them. I have a client that is a professional chef. So my closing gift for my luxury clients is they get a in-house chef that does a 5-course meal for them and 6 of their friends.
That's awesome.
Now you got their 6 friends going, oh my God, your realtor is amazing,
Yeah.
and get the referral business. I have a guy that does auto detailing, a mobile auto detailing. So for closing gifts, I will get their car cleaned for them. So you just got to incorporate your clients into your business because it keeps you in front of them when you're calling and scheduling things. And it also keeps your other clients happy that it's not just some generic closing gift that they're getting.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I love it. That's a
Thank
really
you.
great last tidbit. Well, how can people find you if they want to ask you any questions or connect?
I am on Instagram. That's really the only platform I really use. But I'm just at Lori underscore.
Okay. And then if they want to email you or call for any questions, just Google you.
I am at Lori at don'tworrycalllori.com.
Oh, I like that.
Thank
That's cute.
you.
That's really cute. Is that your website? Don't worry.
That is my website. And I do have clients that actually, they're like, hey, so I had a problem and I decided not to worry. I just called you.
That is awesome. Well, thank you so much. This has been great. I hope that
Yeah.
inspires everyone. I'm all about back to the basics. I think that everyone
Yes.
needs to hear that.
Well, and there's a lot of free things that you can do. The mailers, I mean, they're not free, but they're really cheap to sit down and write a handwritten card, snap a stamp on it and send it out in the mail. Like that's free. Welcome to the neighborhood. Happy 1 year anniversary. Whatever the case may be, the getting their Ulta statement, that's all free. You don't have to worry about that. Like if you know your clients and you know that their wedding anniversary is coming up and their favorite restaurant is Burns, call and make the reservation months in advance. So if they forget, you call them and you're like, hey, guess what? I made the reservation for you. Like those are all free things that you can do. So it's just thinking outside the box.
Yeah, and just being extra. Well, thank you so much. This was awesome. And you guys now know where to find Lori if you have any questions or want to connect with her. And if you want to connect with me, just Christina Leavenworth on Instagram as well. Everyone get back to the basics, sell a lot of homes, throw some mommy brunches, and we'll
Yes.
connect.
All right. Thank you.